He's going all the way. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Texas Tech takes home the victory.
Welcome to the Broadway Shuffle, wherever you are and however you may be listening, whether on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or Texas Tech Plus. We are so glad you are here. Before we get to the episode today, we had Texas Tech head coach Joey McGuire on our show on Monday. So if you haven't listened to that, go check that out. But what we found interesting from that episode is that 63% of the thousands of people who viewed the episode were not subscribed to our channel. So we would appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button so we can continue to deliver you guys the best show possible. And make sure to download the Texas Tech app for all of our content now on Texas Tech Plus, as well as all of the great shows and content they deliver every day. So with that being said, Conrad, give us our first word of the episode.
Yeah, so our first word this evening and this morning, really, if you're listening to it on Thursday morning, is that we are now collaborating with Texas Tech. I'm sure you all saw that. Some of you may have listened to us on Texas Tech Plus, a great platform that Texas Tech hosts all of their media on, highlights, coaching interviews, the brand. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to do that. I believe there's a new episode coming out soon as well. And so we're excited to be able to partner with Texas Tech. It's surreal in a lot of ways for us. We just again got on here last August and started talking Texas Tech sports, and now we're collaborating with the university that all four of us graduated from. So like Brennan said, guys, make sure to go download the Texas Tech Plus app and get all your Red Raider content there, as well as subscribe to the Broadway Shuffle, where we'll continue to bring content here on YouTube, but also now on Texas Tech Plus.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. And just want to be clear, though it's a great opportunity for us, our show's not changing. Our opinions aren't changing. Our thoughts aren't changing. So you're still going to be getting the best unfiltered opinions, wild predictions, everything you can find, everything you love about the Broadway Shuffle is staying the exact same. So it'll be a lot of fun. Z, what are your thoughts, man, on see, I saw your face. I went to texastech.com today. I saw Zyler's face on there, Clayton's face. Man, it's cool to see four handsome guys on the website now. That's a plus.
I think the aesthetic
itself.
Vastly improved, honestly.
It improved,
not that it wasn't already
man.
good. We just took it to a different level.
Yeah, it's incredibly humbling to work with them. I think, there's a lot of people I'd love to shout out. I'm really excited for some of this stuff coming later this season. I don't want to give away too much, but I think there's going to be a lot of really fun stuff. We're going to be a lot more community facing, a lot more ways for people to interact with the show, both in person and online. We're going to be doing a lot of really neat stuff with them in the next 6 months. So really excited for that. They're very kind to give us an opportunity for this, and we're really excited.
Yeah, and Clayto, you're working on something for us as well. Surprising, polo hat. What's coming out on the merchandise side that people can be looking out for in the next couple weeks?
Yeah, we're working on a couple polos, t-shirt potentially, and a hat or multiple hats. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks once we can get that set up.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Clayton's our graphic designer. He's our special go-to guy. We don't have to outsource anything here with Clayton on the show. So
no tariffs on our products.
Yeah, if you need Clayton for any graphics, you can email him, and he'd be happy to 1099 for you. So he's also always open.
Well, and the thing is too, man, if you guys want, we're doing polos and hats right now, but if there's something else you want, like maybe Broadway Shuffle socks or something like that, Broadway Shuffle PJs. I mean, I don't know. We can do it all. You just give us the idea. We could run with it.
Anybody has Broadway Shuffle PJs, they're going to get blocked immediately. That's a massive red flag.
That's a red flag. Hey, you got to give people what they want sometimes.
Conrad, do you wear PJs? Do you have designer
I'd wear
PJs?
Broadway Shuffle PJs.
you got.
I'm gonna have to block
PJs.
Conrad.
Yeah, Conrad's no longer allowed to subscribe to the channel.
Okay.
All right. Well, man. Well, let's get to the stuff people care about. But thank you all so much for all of your support throughout this last year. We're excited for year two. But AP poll came out this week, gentlemen, and Texas Tech found itself right at that 23 number. We're not the biggest fans of the AP poll system here on the show. Zyler, I think, says polling doesn't matter. Don't pay attention to it. But we may be coming out with our Broadway Shuffle top 25 here in a little bit. But it is the first time Texas Tech has been ranked in quite a while. So, Z, I want to go to you first on this, brother. First time since 2008. First time being ranked since 2018. Overall thoughts on the ranking, fair or foul? What do you think about Tech dropping at 23?
Yeah, people just always have to remember the AP poll is 50-ish people that are the reporters from around the country that vote on this. So if you're looking for a power rating, the AP poll is not that. That's what you just always have to take in mind. It's really who did a great job selling themselves this offseason. And I think Texas Tech did a fabulous job of that. And as such, you're rewarded with your first appearance in the AP poll since 2018, first preseason appearance since 2008. So it doesn't really mean a lot. There's plenty of teams, A&M's the classic example. Miami's often prone to this, that start really high and then just meander their way right out of the top 25 for the entirety of the season. So it's a nice accomplishment. It'll be cool to see that 23 by your name when you kick off the first game, but ultimately pretty meaningless for me.
Clayton, meaningless.
I do actually think it has some meaning. I mean, you saw basically all of the contenders in the Big 12 have to fight their perception all last season because, Arizona State was picked last in the Big 12 poll, BYU, people didn't think anything of them. And then they spend the whole season trying to overcome that perception of them going into the season. So I actually do think it's a positive. I mean, it's obviously a positive, but I actually do think it means something that you're in the preseason. And I honestly would have Tech slightly higher, but I do understand that, like Zyler said, this is our first appearance in the poll since 2018. It's a preseason poll, so I don't mind it, and I think it shows that there is at least some respect for what you did in the portal based on that.
Yeah, Conrad, I thought you coming into the last couple of weeks, anywhere between 20 and 25 was probably fair. So to see 23, I wasn't shocked or surprised by any of this. Do you feel like Tech should have been higher?
Yeah, I feel like we were completely disrespected. I think a number 1 overall ranking would have been perfect. So, no, I mean, it's in all seriousness now. I think I can see a case where you make us higher. I do think it was good. I would have been slightly annoyed if we weren't in it, right? Like with everything that was done and all the players, the proven players that were brought in. I can see a case that we're higher, but again, I'm just happy that we're there. It's something we haven't done since 2018. And so now there are a lot of reasons for that. Also, again, like I've made the case on previous episodes, you've got to look at things pre-NIL, post-NIL, pre-large investment for Texas Tech and post large investment for Texas Tech in terms of, the financial component of things. So, I mean, I'm not surprised. I do think it matters though, because so much of this is perception, right? I mean, you've got, we've had great off seasons the last 3, but I think moving into this one specifically, you've got to be able to set yourself up not only to start out on the right foot, but also hopefully when you get on the field and play games, that continues. But 23 is fine with me. I can see a case for 2019, 18 maybe, but again, you just don't know at this point in the year.
Yeah, what was interesting too is that I've seen a lot of power rankings, like different CBS, some PFF people. I think I saw Tech as high as 12 on a couple. So there's higher rated power rankings that are just in love with this roster and are the talent of the roster is top 15 level. But the AP poll is so much based off last year too. I feel like it's kind of what did you do for me already to earn the ranking, though it's a completely new year, new rosters. So I don't know. I feel like this is an exciting thing. Zyler, I know you were saying it doesn't really do much, but just to see the number next to the name still does something for the fan. I still think it does make you feel like, okay, we're good. Even though 26, what's the difference between 26 and 23? Probably nothing. But it just makes you feel like you're better or you're off on a good footing, So yeah. It'll be interesting to see how quickly you move up. What does a 3-0 start get you? You move into the top 18? Is it dependent? Are you sticking at 23 until you beat Utah?
I think there's actually a chance you could drop out in the first couple weeks because the teams that are right behind you are Baylor, BYU, and Utah. And Utah gets to play UCLA on the road, solo game. If they win that, they'll probably jump into the top 25. If Baylor beats Auburn to start the year, they're going to jump into the top 25. And so if you beat Arkansas Pine Bluff and Kent State, I don't think anybody's going to care. You just don't really have opportunities to move up. I think teams would have to lose for you to move up. You're not going to have even Oregon State. I don't think many people are going to be paying attention to that game outside of the Tech universe. So we'll see. I think the more interesting things about the AP poll are just how much love the SEC gets, and they are the best conference. I totally get it, but teams like OU making a top 20 appearance here make no sense to me. And I know they're power rated decently high, but this is a team, like if you want to talk, and I recognize I'm talking about a Tech team that wasn't very good last year that was in the top 25. So I fully recognize that. OU last year, they beat Temple, they beat Houston by 4 at home, they beat Tulane, and then they beat Auburn and Maine. And that was it outside of the Alabama win. Like they went 6 and 7 after losing to Navy.
They barely beat Tulane, didn't they? It was barely.
Yeah. No, they barely beat Houston.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was
then,
Houston. Yeah,
and then they lost to Navy in the Armed Forces Bowl, and it's like, perfect. Yeah, let's just throw you in the top 20. Like, and I get what you do in the offseason matters. Like, John Mateer is a good player. I do not see the top 20. I don't even see the top 25 case for OU this year.
Michigan's is worse. I mean, they're basically in the same boat. Like, good defense, horrific offense last year, but they're starting a freshman QB. At least Mateer has played.
Yeah, at least proven.
Yeah,
at least Mateer has proven he's really good at sending Venmo transactions. At least he's good at that. Yeah,
it was a joke.
Hey,
man.
It was all a joke.
Inside joke.
This is my hot take. I am not a John Mateer believer at all. I think honestly it's going to be a pretty tough season for OU, and I think predominantly it's going to be him. I could very well be wrong, but again, I don't know that you go from Washington State, tearing up defenses that weren't all that great to the SEC and think that you're going to take the league by storm. I'm not seeing it there, but that's a whole different conversation.
This is I'm
not a John Mateer guy.
I think John Mateer skipped too many levels in his transfer. Is that go ahead, say what you were going to say?
But Michigan and OU get to play each other. I think it's week 1 or week 2.
Yeah.
Is that right? It's week 1.
It's week 2.
And like one of those teams is going to get a massive boost by beating somebody that may not actually end up being that good. And that's going to be like a tough thing that they have to, like they'll be like, oh, well, they beat OU on the road. And it's like, what if OU is garbage? Like, I don't know. That'll be just like an interesting game that somebody's going to benefit a lot from in a manner that they maybe shouldn't.
I actually think John Mateer is decent, but I think against this schedule, he's not going to be good enough for OU to be good. I mean, you're going from playing a Washington State schedule to playing Michigan, Texas, Tennessee, Bama, Missouri, LSU. Like, I just don't see that working out.
And we recognize he beat us last year. Like, totally. I recognize that. And I watched him and was like, I am not impressed. And you're terrorizing this defense.
Yeah.
Do we need to talk? Well, let me just say it. We don't need to evaluate quarterbacks based on how they looked against our defense last year.
Yeah,
I think that's a poor metric. So, like you said in earlier episodes, Zyler, I don't know that that's the best way to do that.
So that means Sam Leavitt sucks. Josh Hoover sucks.
None of those guys are top notch.
None of those guys are good quarterback. Yeah.
One thing I'll say about the top 10 of the AP top 25, just looking at it, I would have LSU higher, to be honest with y'all. I'm a big Garrett Nussmeier believer. I'm not a John Mateer believer, but I'm a Nussmeier believer. And with the money they spent with their transfer portal class, if they can just somehow fix their defense and just make it a little bit better, I think they've got a chance to really compete in the SEC. So I'd probably have them maybe 7 instead of 9. But then again, how much of a difference is that really?
Who's y'all's pick? There's always a team every year that starts in the top 10 that finishes outside the top 25. Who is it for you out of this group? I think it's a pretty clear answer, but I'd be interested to hear what you guys think.
I think it's Miami pretty easily.
That was my pick.
Going from Cam Ward to injure Carson Beck, like with the elbow injury.
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious answer.
I mean, the Crimson Tide just haven't been the same, man. I don't know.
I'm actually so on board with Bama this year.
Their defense is unbelievable. They have the most talent. I will say this, though. I think out of Bama, LSU, and Georgia, one of those 3 will finish with 3 or 4 losses and will finish outside the top 10. There's just too much. There is too much in the SEC. And I hate saying this, but LSU schedule at Bama versus A&M, at Oklahoma versus South Carolina versus Florida, at Ole Miss, at Clemson to start the year. I mean, there's 3 or 4 losses there.
Dude, there are so many great games in week 1 that are going to have insane fan meltdowns either way.
I know.
Like
Texas
LSU,
Tech,
Clemson.
Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Oh, yeah.
LSU Clemson is the perfect one, but Auburn Baylor is a sneaky, like one of these fan bases is going to melt down. And
Georgia Tech,
really
Colorado
hope it's Auburn
too.
Another sneaky one.
TCU, North Carolina, another one.
I think North Carolina gets housed by TCU.
Yeah, I would love to see UNC
No, don't
win.
say that. No,
I am just not a believer in UNC.
And Bill,
I'm not
like
either.
Bill.
It's just they're playing TCU. That's the thing.
We're getting off.
But
we are.
It's okay. It's okay. We're allowed to. I was gonna say out of the top 10, who do you feel like Texas Tech could beat? Like if you had to pick a top 10 team that Texas Tech, if they were to play them in the first round of the playoff, who would you feel good about them beating? I guess you can't say Miami. You can't say Miami.
This is solely vibes. I don't trust James Franklin in big moments. And I am like, I've heard people say this. James Franklin is going to be the first person to lose a home playoff game, and I think it's going to be against us this year, and that's who I'm taking.
That is a nasty pick. I like that.
So do
Could
I.
you imagine going into Penn State and
That would
winning?
be crazy.
Dude, can you imagine that?
Imagine.
Oh
gosh.
my
That loss.
Us four would be the only. They'd have the white out. We'd be the only. You'd see the red and black clearly sprinkled. That would be fantastic.
That'd be
Hey, there would be.
Penn State's a good pick.
Red Raiders would travel for that one, man. Could you imagine going to Happy Valley? We'd make it
man.
Sad Valley real quick.
Dude, what a place! That would be. That was good. I don't know if that was so bad. It was actually kind of good.
The intent was for it to be bad that it was good, but
I'm laughing.
I don't know
at
if it hit or
actually.
not.
Texas.
So-
I mean, can you knock off Texas?
No, you can't. Let's just be honest. You
No,
can't.
Oh my goodness,
You can't.
Conrad!
Wow.
You can't. You can't.
Dude.
No,
Yes, you
Texas is
can.
going to lose to Ohio State, and then we're going to beat Ohio State.
We're gonna beat Ohio State in what? The
The
national
playoff, baby.
So you could beat Ohio State, but you couldn't beat Texas.
Yeah, Texas is just I don't know.
So you've got Texas winning week 1 against Ohio State. Then I know we'll get into predictions here in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
but you can give an early prediction. You've got Texas winning on the road against Ohio State. Then
yeah, I
No
think they
way.
would, but
No
I think
way.
I think they can. I think they can.
Conrad
I
a
think they
secret
can.
Longhorn fan?
That's what I
No,
always
that
think.
was
He
in a
loves
previous
it.
life.
It
No,
is
that was in a
Sark.
previous
I
life.
know
No,
he
I will
does.
say though, I will say I think Sark. I respect Sark. So
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah. So okay,
And how could you not? We're so far off topic. This is a Texas Tech sports podcast.
No, well,
Let's go back to the Red Raiders at 23.
Yeah.
I brought it up. Like who would Texas Tech beat in the top 10? I mean, I'd be curious. I do think the roster has top 10 talent. So I'm just potentially, so so Zyler's got Penn State, Conrad's got Ohio State. So no Big Ten fandom here. Clayton, you got anyone else you think Tech could? Oregon?
Dude, that was going to be my answer. That's a surprising answer, but I think Oregon. I mean, they just lost Evan Stewart.
They'll take a step back.
I think, they with Dante Moore, I feel like they have a lower floor than people think.
Yeah.
Just because he's
Yeah.
unproven.
Yeah, this is what's going to be so great about this year. I was listening to Joel Klatt talk to Colin Cowherd, and he's big on like, oh, college football is so top heavy. It's all, and Klatt's like, you're wrong. Like now more than ever, any of these teams could theoretically get to the Final Four or make the playoff. Like it's more open than ever. And I think that's interesting. That's good for schools like Texas Tech, who's put in a lot of effort to develop a top 15, 20 roster, a Big 12 championship caliber roster. It's exciting to go into the year with that hope that we haven't had in so long. And so when I'm looking at the top 25, I'm like, SMU at 16, like to get to the top 12, for example, Illinois at 12, a school you play, Arizona State's at 11. Like there's Kansas State's at 17. There's opportunities to move into that threshold pretty easily, which is exciting. So that's what I'm looking forward to out of Texas Tech and being ranked. It's like you could move up quickly, create noise, week 4 or 5, especially if you beat Utah on the road. Anyone else too high, too low for you guys in the top 25 here in this initial ranking?
I mean, you can nitpick a lot of these teams, but I thought OU was the most egregious one.
I think Illinois was the most egregious, but one team that I don't think is too low, but I'm a big believer this year is Florida. I think they're making the playoff this year.
Yeah,
I had a dream that we were spanking Florida and Gainesville in the playoff the other night. So I hope that comes true.
We've got our road. We've got beating either Florida or Penn State on the road.
If I see us in the playoff against Florida, like the mortgage is going on us beating Florida.
It's there, dude.
Okay, I did. Interesting topic though. We were talking about the playoff in the Big 12, and obviously, these would be such monumental achievements for your program. I was debating this with some people earlier. Would you take, and if I presented you two scenarios, you can win the Big 12 title and then lose the first round of the CFP game, or lose in the Big 12 title game and then win your first CFP game. Everything after that is, who knows? You don't know if you lose or win that second CFP game. But if I offered you those choices, which one would you take?
Okay, so you win the Big 12 title but lose a playoff game, or you lose the Big 12 title game but you're good enough to have gotten there, afford the loss, and then win on the road against Penn State or Florida?
Yep.
I'm taking option 2. Big 12 title to me is irrelevant if you make the playoff. Like, it's to me, if you're good enough to get into the playoff and you still earned the playoff. I mean, irrelevant's strong. It's not irrelevant, but it's like you made it to your destination if you're in the playoff. So I would take that.
I think
I feel like if you
go ahead, Conrad.
Go ahead, Clayton.
I think I'm on option 2, but it feels weird because an outright conference championship is something that you haven't done in a long, long time, and you'd be passing that up. But I do think the national perception of losing the Big 12 championship and then beating someone like Clemson or Georgia in the playoff would just get you
on the road
so much more than winning the Big 12 championship.
You don't know. Like, what if you're matched up with the G5 team somehow? Like, what if you beat Tulane or something where it's like,
I don't think
it'd be great. It'd be awesome. Yeah,
because they would be 12.
Somehow maybe you're the 5th seed. It's like maybe somehow you were undefeated. I don't know. Like there's a scenario where the team that you beat in the playoff is not like you play Indiana,
but it's still a playoff win. Like it's like you're playing for the Natty in that bracket. So you're you're still there. I get that. I get that you'd want to you want to raise a banner like Big 12 champions, but you'd still be raising a banner for CFP appearance, right?
Like TCU.
I don't know if you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think one thing.
Exactly.
I think one thing too.
This is TCU circa TCU 2023. This is what happened.
Yeah, but who are you? The question is as well. Who are you losing to in the Big 12 title game? Because I think
does that change your answer?
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at night if we lost to let's say you're undefeated.
Okay.
And you
Conrad,
go
let me
in.
offer you this. You lose to Baylor in the title game, and you go and you beat UT. I mean, I think you'd take that.
Oh, he's
a million times.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
Okay. You lose to Baylor, and then you go beat. I'm trying to think of some. No, that's too big. You go beat Florida State or something like that.
I don't even. Does Florida State still have a football program after their season? No.
Conrad's on it
Dude,
tonight, man.
I don't know. It's just tough because you can't. I mean, I'd honestly take both. Like I'm not going to be upset if either one happens.
These scenarios are fantastic, Zyler, because I'm celebrating regardless in either of these. But beating Texas in a playoff game would be pinnacle.
Absolute
cinema. You'd almost raise it if you did that. You'd have a parade the next day.
Dude, anything that Texas Tech sports did
survive.
Anything that happened in Texas Tech sports for the rest of my life, if that happened, would just be icing on the cake. That would be
it is until we lose to TCU in 2026.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It can change very quickly, can't it?
Let me take it one step further. If I told you this season that you're going to make the Big 12 title game and you're going to lose, and you're also going to make the CFP and you're also going to lose, would you take that outcome right now, or would you roll the dice?
Man, that's hard.
And the conference opponent is Baylor. The conference opponent is Baylor. You're going to lose to Baylor in the time.
Dude, my dislike of Baylor
roll the dice just to get a different opponent in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Let's say somehow, some way we play. Let's say somehow it's Arizona State, right? You play them again in the college. they're a good program. Kenny's done a good job there. I respect that. That's fine. Just losing to an in-state rival like that, that would just, again, it hurts. That's what makes college sports so great. Again, so no, I'd probably
But
roll
you
the
would
dice
be
just to get a different
making the
opponent.
CFP. You would
Yeah.
be making the CFP. That means you probably went like 11-1 in the regular
Yeah,
season.
you'd have to go
Or
11-1 to do that, or
At
12-0.
least. Yeah.
I think
At
we're
least,
going
like-
12-0 anyway.
Yeah, that was your prediction. That was your
That's-
prediction.
yeah,
You're,
I mean, come
you're on
on.
record. You're on record on TikTok saying you're going 16-0. So,
Yeah.
it's
Hey,
there.
make sure you
It's
go
on the
follow us
web.
on TikTok.
Yes, all of our socials.
Anyway, once again,
yeah.
I think I would take that scenario. Even like
I
I think
mean-
a Big 12 title appearance and a CFP
I would
appearance
take
would
that
be.
for sure.
Yeah,
I'm taking,
I think I would.
Dude, anything that has Texas Tech in a CFP game, even if it's the 11 a.m. slot in Happy Valley like SMU last year, I'm. You can sign me
You're
up.
signing.
I will sign it right now. I don't care who
Yeah,
we
I would
lose to. If you're 12-0 and you get clapped in the Big 12 title game, I could care less. Like
Yeah.
you're going to the CFP. Like that's what
Yeah.
matters. You know.
I will say this though. I don't see just with. I mean, if this team, let's just play this out. Let's say you get to the Big 12 title game and you are 12-0. That means this team is just unbelievably good, right? Like that is like that's like okay. This team
Yeah.
probably would do some pretty serious damage in the SEC or the Big Ten if we're 12-0 at this point. Because again, like we've mentioned, we do have tough games against Kansas State, Arizona State, Utah. Going 12-0, like that's a huge deal. And so if we got there 12-0, I really don't think that going 12-0 this whole season and then getting that moment, I don't think that moment would be too big, especially because Jerry World would be full and packed with red and black. Like it would be
That's
it would be
literally the
unbelievable.
scenario that TCU had in 2023.
Yeah, TCU doesn't even have enough alumni to fill Jerry World though.
I know, but like it can happen. Like it's not to say if you go 12-0 that you're guaranteed to win the title.
I think this team on paper has more talent than that TCU team. The only reason that TCU team got to that point is because their coach got really lucky and their starting quarterback got hurt. And then they got a guy who was lightning in the bottle who played the best season of his career and then took them to that point. I think that season is much more about luck
Preach,
than actual
baby. Preach.
than actual strategic I don't know, strategy.
This might be the
So-
most raw we've seen Conrad in a
Yeah.
while. I think
I know,
we're
I
getting
know.
we're getting
Unfiltered.
closer.
You can tell the season's
know,
close.
Yeah.
You know football's close, man, because the guy
No.
that doesn't care about basketball, doesn't
I
care
do
about
care about basketball.
Okay, you care, but it's all Conrad's the love. This guy loves football, and you know you're only 18, 17. What's tomorrow? 16 days away from the season, man. He's back. This is why
I
you
mean,
got
I
to
don't
follow
think
us.
I'm being-
You don't get this anywhere else.
I don't- Well, I don't think I'm being am I being unkind or unrealistic? Because that's not my goal.
No.
I'm just trying to be
No.
I'm just trying to be real. I mean,
You're just on fire tonight. That's all. We're just hyping you up, man. That's all we're doing. You're doing
Okay.
great.
all right. Well, thanks.
Keep going.
Speaking speaking of the team though,
Go ahead.
if we
Steve.
wanna
you can
talk, you know,
transition us.
the team, let's talk about some of the players that have been standing out on our hopeful road to a Big 12 title game appearance. We talked to Joey, and then you've listened to him in some of the pressers, and then some of the reporting that's come out from guys like Don Williams and the people at Red Raider Sports. John Curry, local product, is making a lot of waves right now. They've got him. He was starting at the star position during their first scrimmage, which is like kind of like a nickelback. But was starting. I think Dingle and McCarty were both hurt, so that there's something going on there. But yeah, that's been somebody that's made a lot of noise, and that's a guy that we were talking about last season that was earning a lot more snaps. As you saw, Roberts, especially in the pass coverage, just had some stuff that maybe wasn't going his way there. Somebody that we thought could challenge Roberts for one of those inside linebacker spots. And then Dante Balfour, that's a guy that Coach McGuire talked about on our episode, the MVP of fall camp. He said he doesn't know who would start right now between Bryce Pollock, Maurian Horn, and Dante Balfour. And that is a big change from the spring where it was very clearly Bryce Pollock and Maurian Horn. Guys, any thoughts on that? Those are clearly the two guys on my end that have stood out. I don't know if you've heard of anybody else that's been standing out, but those are the two people that I've thought, wow, hearing a lot of press on these guys.
I think it's a great thing for your defense if the two names that you're hearing about are not the big names. You expect. Coach McGuire mentioned on our conversation with him on Monday about Romello Height, as well. We asked him who's not getting a ton of love in the press. It should be. He mentioned him. So the fact that you already are expected to have a deep defense with Jacob Rodriguez, David Bailey, Lee Hunter, et cetera, and John Curry and Balfour being mentioned as continued growth players that are going to be making a huge impact on the roster, I think that's just exciting. It continues to say these guys are legit. We talked to Brendan Jordan as well, our safety, and go check that episode out as well. And he was saying the same thing. He's like, dude, I'm covering him 2 seconds and the quarterback's already down. Like these guys, the defense it sounds like they are just running around. They're being aggressive. I cannot wait to watch these guys play. I feel bad for Arkansas Pine Bluff because when these guys can start hitting other people, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yep. Conrad, a question I had for you, and this is something that's kind of ticked up on my radar. It's year 4 now, and I don't think in any of the 4 years we've had a set starting 5 going into week 1 on the offensive line. What is your concern level now with Zambrano had been out, Scurry was still out, they were still mixing and matching guys. You saw Daniel Sills started at right guard in the scrimmage, so you were rolling out Howard Sampson, Jados, Wilson, Sill, and Ponton, so you were rolling out 2 redshirt freshmen. Not a lot of continuity, not a lot of, I don't want to say not a lot of chemistry developing, but you're not getting a lot of reps. You don't know who your starting 5 is yet on that offensive line. What's your concern level there? It's something that I'm definitely starting to pay a bit more attention to.
Yeah, I think it was something last year, right? That with the offensive line that we kind of, I don't know what it was, but we were concerned about it, but we kind of pushed it away. I think this year I'm still concerned because, like you said, you still don't know who the starting 5 is for various reasons, but I feel better about this year than last year because the talent has been massively upgraded, like we've talked about previously. But still, at the same time, you want these guys getting chemistry together because a lot of them, they haven't played, like whatever combination you roll out there, they have never played live reps together. Like there's a good chance. Samson's there. Then you've got, Jados. Then you got Wilson. Then you got Sill. Then you got Ponton. That's a completely new, a new group, right? And so it's like, what are you trying to? How is this group going to work together if they don't get a chance to do it in practice? Now, thankfully, Arkansas Pine Bluff is, no disrespect to them, is not a great opponent in that sense. Like they just can't compete with you. We also thought the same thing about ACU, but this is obviously very, very different. And so I am concerned. If out of 10, though, I'd probably put it like a 5.5, 6, maybe, just because of they haven't practiced together. Would you share that sentiment, or would you go a little bit higher?
I think you just don't, like, there's so much uncertainty around so many things on this team. We think the defensive line is going to be good. We think our DC is going to be good. We think our OC is going to be good. We think Barron's healthy. We think our running backs are going to be good. We think the offensive line should be better. It's like there's just a lot of uncertainty. Now, I think a lot of those things are true. It's just there's so many things that are, and I don't want to say uncertain, just relatively unproven in Jones AT&T Stadium, wearing the double T. And that's where the more of those things that pop up, that there's just more outs for things to go wrong. And that's where I think some of these Big 12 teams like Utah's probably the best example. It's like Utah doesn't necessarily have the returning pieces on defense, but that defensive coordinator has been good for like 10 years there. You know what you're getting, and he's developed guys consistently. And that's where you get the benefit of the doubt. I like Shieldwood. I like Mac Leftwich. Have they earned the benefit of the doubt for Texas Tech yet? I don't think so. No, they've been good coaches. This is the highest level that they're going to coach at so far in their career. And that's just where more uncertainty always just kind of raises my eyebrows a little bit. But on the outside, it's, you can have something like Oklahoma State where you return all 5 starters in 2024 and you're absolutely terrible. Like the continuity does not guarantee production or an effective scheme. That's something about Utah. Lomu and Fano might have been really good in a particular scheme. What Beck does may not play to their specific strengths. I still think those guys are the best tackles in the conference, but scheme matters a ton with your offensive line. And I don't know. The health is concerning. I have no idea who's starting at right tackle. I have no idea what they're going to do at left guard. And that's just where I'm like, is that because we have too much talent or we don't have enough? So I just don't know yet.
I'm glad you brought this up, Z, because I've been thinking about this because everyone's talking about Barron and the defensive line, the wide receivers, but the offensive line has been kind of quiet. And it is a little concerning because this has been your biggest issue outside of defense for years. You've just not had a great healthy, productive offensive line. And you still need that regardless of how good the defense is to score points and win games. And we've seen what bad offensive lines look like. So I am nervous. I mean, that's why I'm still hesitant to get into like what Texas Tech's potential is in terms of winning this conference and going, as we just kind of debated, 11-1, 12-0, because you need the offensive line to be really good to do that. And so I was thinking about this because I felt like I've overlooked, oh, we're talking about all this. And I'm like, I haven't really thought about the offensive line much, which might not necessarily be a good thing because I don't necessarily feel comfortable with it. Clayton, I don't know if you feel the same, but it just seems like this has been a little overlooked in the sense of we're all excited about all these other things. I know we brought in some Brano and some people from the portal, but the big boys got to be able to block, and they've got to be really good against especially in some of these road games, because it's going to be loud. You won't be able to hear. Snap counts are going to change. The offensive line is huge on the road. You need them to be really good. I'm a little hesitant to go there now. I just need to see it first.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely a little nervous about this. I'd say like if there was one position group I had to pick that I'm the most nervous about, probably be offensive line. And like, yeah, to Z's point, it sucks like with a new coordinator, new system, that you have guys that are hurt that can't get reps in that. You don't really want them getting their first reps in a new system to be in a game. But I don't know. I feel good about Sampson, Sheridan Wilson, and whoever we start at right tackle. Like if we have to go with Ponton, I feel like he showed enough last year that I think he could be decent. And I don't know how many teams in the Big 12 are going to have a pass rush that can really exploit you having like a weak offensive line. Another thing is the reports in camp are also the running game has been really good. So I think if that, that may not signify pass blocking, but I would think, these running backs aren't just doing well despite the line being terrible run blockers. So I don't know. I think that's a good sign.
It's actually a good point. You hear some about the run game, and run games don't do well unless they have a good blocking scheme. And I think specifically with these kind of running backs that we have, Taj was very good at making stuff out of nothing. Some of his highlights, it's like, my word, it's a 4-yard game, but it should have been a 5-yard lot. It's really like a 9-yard run.
Mm-hmm.
But like Jacoby Williams is not that kind of guy. Quentin Joyner's not necessarily that kind of guy. And if they're having good practices, that tells me one thing, that there are two things. Either the scheme's really good or our run blocking is really good. And I think either of those are good outcomes. Or we can't run defend, but I'm going to choose not to believe that.
Yeah, how much? That's what I wanted to ask.
That's not a realistic outcome.
That's not possible. But that's what I wanted to ask, because I think about that a lot when we're talking about reports out of camp. Like the running backs are really good. I'm like, okay, great. Well, what does that mean? Like
it's a zero-sum game. It is.
I guess I just don't I don't take anything out of what I hear out of camp personally. Like you see the videos, maybe in scrimmages, good catches, Barrett might throw a dime and all that stuff. You can kind of say, okay, that's a great play. That's an athletic play. But when it comes to position groups, it's like, okay, well, they're going against our defensive line. So is our defensive line really good? Is the offensive line not good? I just want to see it against I don't really need to know. Like get me to August 30th and then I'll start telling you what I see. For me, it's like camp is for them to get ready to play. I don't get excited about hearing things out of camp, in my opinion.
Yep.
Like, let me get to when we have to play someone else.
Yeah.
This is
I will say, I think it's,
no, go ahead.
I think it's interesting talking about what you hear about camp with TC, Terrence Carter. I don't know if y'all saw the video that was posted about his toe tap catch at the back of the end zone, throw from Barron. That just that gets me excited for him.
That's an athletic play. Like that's that's a baller.
Conrad
move.
takes the other approach.
Yeah. I mean, any propaganda that the Texas Tech social media team is putting out, I'm buying.
Yeah, they do a great job.
I mean, dude, every team looks. Awesome. I mean, the social media team at Texas Tech is undefeated, like unbelievable. Especially you can't recruit to Lubbock video. I thought that was great. But I'll say this: seeing highlights like that gets you excited, because it's like, okay, these guys show that they've got the talent to make this happen on the field, right? Like they're doing it in practice against, for example, our defense they're going against every day in practice is way better than theoretically, than what we'll see against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Kent State and Oregon State. And so if they're making catches like that and doing that, it's almost like, okay, well, what's going to happen when it's on the field?
You just proved my point.
Yeah, it's okay. Here's the other thing.
It's all imaginary at this point, right?
It's hope.
All
it's
imaginary.
It's a great time to be hopeful. it's so hard when you read camp reports because every team got better at their areas of weakness last year. Everybody's deeper. They're more athletic. Nobody's regressed from last year, according to camp reports.
Man, this team
And
sucks.
that's just the hard thing. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
we look terrible. And no coach is going to say that. Their job is to build hype. And so you got to, the only thing that you should really read into is bad news, in my mind. Or if you were expecting good news and you don't hear anything about it. For example, Jerand Bradley has not really been talked about much at fall camp. I am not expecting him to do well. That seems to confirm my priors. That's something where I'm like, okay, perfect. Note it.
Where is he now?
He's at Kansas State, starting wide receiver for the Wildcats.
Oh, we're so beating them.
They talked about this being the most talented team they've ever had, and Jerand Bradley is starting at wide receiver for them. So, which he was good as a Red Raider, but that's just the stuff that's so hard because everybody looks, if your offense is terrible, then it looks like your defense is really good. And if your offense is crushing your defense, then maybe your just offense is really good and your defense. It's just like, it's a zero-sum game. You can find positives on every single play.
Yeah. I mean, you want to get excited. I get it. Like, you want to see, but like, that's the thing. That's why I do think a Terrence Carter toe tap or like a Caleb Douglas one-handed or a Reggie Virgil one-handed catch or whatever. It's like, okay, those are athletic plays that could be made in a game. Like that's an individual performing it at an ability where it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Or Barron throwing a no-look pass or whatever it is. Like, remember when that video of him throwing that no-look pass in practice, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, now here's a guy, and you're just like, man, that guy's cold. Like, that was cool, But what did it do for the team? Nothing, Like, you went 4-8. So
you remember those were the days where our social media highlights were just guys videoing the all 22. It was just like some dude with a phone, just like filming it. It's like, watch this.
Like up top on the form. Yeah, it's. So I don't know. It's exciting. We just want to play ball, man. Obviously, we're so close to, a little over 2 weeks away. So, but it's just, when does it? I don't even know. Like, when do you think when do you think we're ready for predictions? When should we get to it? Or should we wait till the Thursday
we'll do
before,
predictions,
or should we get to them next
Sunday
week?
Before, probably about a week before the game.
Yeah,
Sunday
before. Okay, we'll get.
I still have to decide. Like,
is he going 16-0 or 15-1?
Like how's that going to work itself out? Like, and are we doing scores for each game? Are we doing like?
I think we'll do overall big. I think for the prediction show we should do, and tell us in the comments if you want us to do something else and we can look at it. But like overall predictions, Big 12, CFP, champion. I think we should go. Maybe we could do each conference to make it, an overall show,
big preview show,
big preview show for a big
Baylor 0-12, TCU 0-65.
You're more than welcome to predict their season as well. Yeah,
they play each other.
I want Conrad to give us his total expectation on attendance at TCU this year. What does he think? Is it how many?
Save it for the episode, Conrad. Save it for the episode.
Yeah. Be doing the math. Get ready. Yeah. But yeah, Z, good stuff on camp, man. And you do a good job on X as well. Zyler, if you see tweets, I told him to start putting his name on there because 90% of it's him. I think Clayton might tweet some stuff sometimes. I don't know if Conrad does, but Z's mainly running our Twitter or /X. So he's doing a great job giving updates on camp as well there too. So check out and follow us on X as well. Okay. One thing I wanted to bring up before we close is, we've been doing a segment. If you're new to the show, we've had a lot of new eyeballs recently. We do something every Sunday night episode, which drops Monday morning, called the Tommy Tubberville of the Week. What this is we find someone across the country. It could be anyone. Clayton's even brought out a Utah beat reporter before. Conrad has been living in the Shedeur Sanders Tommy Tubberville for a while, but it's someone that we think is not living up to maybe what they should be, or is a fraud. They're a fraud. Tommy Tubberville once called Texas Tech Iraq, or Lubbock, Iraq. We don't think that's true. I think Tommy's a fraud. He's also working in government, which proves he's a fraud. So
there you go.
Any senator is probably fraudulent. So it is it's something that we're excited, but we want to make it more communal this fall. We would love for the fans to bring their Tommy Tubbervilles into the comments. If you have one you want us to share, we'll pick a fan Tommy of the week. Shout out somebody. We'd love to drive more engagement on that segment. It happens at the end of every show on our Monday morning episode, which will be our reactions this upcoming fall as well too. So be on the lookout for that. But would love for you guys to be a part of that this fall too. Conrad, you still are? Did you got off Shedeur Sanders for a little bit, didn't you? Did you? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Well,
I can't remember if
well,
you changed or
Shedeur,
not.
I mean, yeah, Baylor University gave me a reason to go back to them, and so I took that opportunity with a smile from year to year. And then
That's right.
Shedeur kind of prohibited me from going back to him because he played really well last Saturday. I got to call it like I see it. So, yeah, I'm still looking for a new culprit, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it was good. Who was the best Tommy Tubberville of the year last year? As we're moving into the 2025 season, can we think of who our best? Who won? I think Alan Bowman was there like 3 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The Ayatollah.
Yeah.
They were there. They were there.
Yeah, they were there.
I was there twice. I got picked twice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
picked you.
I think I was
yeah.
on there once.
Yeah, so we keep each other accountable as well.
I haven't won it
we're
yet.
not immune. I'm trying to think. Maybe is it Alan Bowman? Was he our
Alan
had to
Bowman
have
had to be
been.
the winner
Yeah,
in
it had
24.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so
Where
shout
is
out
he
to
now?
Alan. He got married. He's doing well. He's doing something else. I don't know where he's working. I saw that Jake Fromm, old Georgia quarterback's a client advisor at a firm in Atlanta. So
Yeah, dude, but not with State Farm.
Yeah.
is that where
Missed
Alan's at?
opportunity.
Yeah, missed opportunity. Could have been Jake from State Farm.
Oh yeah, that would have been really cool.
That's a marketing opportunity. If Jake Fromm would have made crazy. Y'all remember when didn't he leave after his junior season and go to the NFL instead of staying for another year?
I don't remember.
I'm not up to date on the Jake
Yeah.
Fromm.
I think he did. I think
I
he
saw
did,
this on
which
I
was
saw
so
this on
wild.
LinkedIn, by the way. I'm not following his. I don't know why it came. I don't know who reposted it, but I saw it on LinkedIn. Let me check and see what Alan Bowman's up to real quick while we're talking about him.
Texas Tech alumni?
No, it says Oklahoma State, man.
Well, no.
Okay.
But he graduated from Texas Tech and Michigan and Oklahoma State.
He graduated from Tech.
Yeah.
I don't think he graduated from.
Yeah, he did.
He graduate?
Trust me, I was there cheering him on.
Were you saw him graduate like in person?
No.
Oh.
That was a joke.
Did you guys get to walk? Were y'all 20? Were y'all 2020?
Yeah, no, I
I
didn't.
didn't
Yeah.
get to walk either.
No.
You got
Yeah.
to walk. So 3 of us never walked. Man, we should.
No, I walked. I walked.
Z, you didn't walk. I didn't walk.
I did not.
COVID ruined my graduation. Maybe we.
Or
could
maybe
do
you
a
just took an
special-
extra year.
That I did. I did take an extra year. Shout out to my freshman biology teacher who gave me an F. I didn't do anything to deserve the F. He did it to me. But then, hey, I rallied. Guess my GPA in the comments. I would love to see if anyone can get it right. but I have a degree.
We've gone off the rails. We've got to wrap up.
We got to wrap it up. Okay, well, we'll be back on Monday, and we're looking forward to that episode as well. Like Zyler mentioned at the beginning of the show, we've got a lot of exciting things coming up through Texas Tech and through Texas Tech Plus as well. So we'll be driving more content and engagement and doing different things, interviews all fall. So be on the lookout for that. Man, great episode, guys. It was fun. We haven't really talked before we close. Joey interview. That was awesome, by the way. I don't think we've talked since we got off the recording, but a ton of fun getting to talk to Coach McGuire. So if you haven't checked that episode out, go do that on our channel and don't forget to subscribe. But we appreciate all of you. Thank you for listening to us here at the Broadway Shuffle, and we will see you guys on Monday. Wreck 'em.
He makes the catch. He